Hello, friends. Steve, still remember? And Jules, the cat, who you're going to probably see her tail or something. Let's just keep breathing. That's kind of the key to everything. And it's one of the keys to raising our level of consciousness is by breathing, not hyperventilating, which is a form of breathing, but that has a tendency to take us out of our root system, out of our ground, and take us into our head and into our active minds. And any of us who had really early traumas are really good at going into that activation or triggering for very little need of input. Off we go. So today I was feeling like might be useful to just check in with the world relative to the symbolism of the tarot cards. So I've used the tarot cards and other symbolic, I've done rune readings and, looked at a variety of things in different ways to have a greater sense on what's going on in the world and with us, because we're part of the world. Our bodies are of the world. And so the energies that we're just been working with really over this past year, I'm just having the same thing go where the light goes off for some reason, and I don't know how to change that. Where just every minute or so, the light goes down on my computer, and the battery's fine. Anyway, you didn't need to know that, but that's why my hand keeps going forward. And one of my hands is occupied now with a cat head. Yeah, she's very loving. And her mother comes home, and her aunt, mother and her, I guess her sister, come home today from their travels. So what we've been working with is the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords represents self-cruelty, the tendency mentally to put oneself down, self-critical mind, self-judging mind. Kind of reworking things over and over and over. I wrote a post earlier that I think I published it. Can't remember if I finished. I think I did. I think I published it. But in one of the things the post was about the past, 10 or more years, about the beings that I work with that have been just steadily encouraging me. And she just gently nipped my hand. My beings have been gently encouraging me to do more and more and more and more. And so I'm going to do something right now, which I'm going to just put her on the ground. I like her very much, but I'm going to try to focus. So anyway, in one of the things I wrote in the post today, it was about I wrote about not feeling I was doing things well enough. And so that's a bit of that self-cruelty. Even though I'm doing a lot, maybe not enough. So in the next 9 weeks, we're going to be releasing negative thinking towards ourself. And this self-criticalness that we've held in the mind. So that's what it's a 9, and there's really 9 weeks left in the Mayan calendar year. It ends on July 24th. And then there's a day out of time, and the new year begins on July 26th. So we got that. The Nine of Swords. That's what it looks like. Self-cruelty. And then the next card of what we're working with. And I'll just state that my favorite cards are the Wands. I just like getting wands. Swords is about mental stuff, and wands are about creativity. And so the Four of Wands is, here's the card. And the Four of Wands is the completion card. So the work we've been about has been completing things. And I would say that the things that many of us are completing are unresolved traumas from the past. I'm just feeling this energy releasing in the upper part of the back, lower part of the neck. And there's a tightness there that as I'm speaking, I'm feeling it releasing this energy that's been held there. Might be the self-cruelty energy. But anyway, the vertebral areas to the heart. So, this Four of Wands, the word is completion, and it reminds us that before we can move forward in new directions that have heart and meaning, it's important to consummate or complete that which we have set in motion. So this next 9 weeks, whether we can do it with less self-cruelty or not, this next 9 weeks is going to be about resolving the shadows, the unresolved events that exist within our spinal cord. So these are ancestral traumas that have taken place. These are other lifetimes traumas that we didn't resolve in those lives. These are traumas even related to just this lifetime that haven't got the energy released from them. So part of what we're going to be doing over the next 9 weeks is finishing up the past. And I know it sounds ridiculous even when I say it, that this is what we're going to be doing the next 9 weeks. But I'll tell you why I feel like it's going to be so much easier, especially for those who have been doing this work. Why it's going to be so much easier. Because the healing is now taking place through the light coming in. So there's this increase of light. There's this increase of light coming from our sun, coming from the central sun, and coming from kind of the center of the healing center of the earth. There's just light emanating from those three and from ourselves. So as we release these things that were stored inside our body, in our bones, in our spinal cord, just unresolved events of the past, as we let those surface and we release them, which we've all been doing for past 28 years now, 29. But anyway, as we do that, we'll individually find ourselves getting lighter and lighter and brighter, like a star. And we'll be tapping into that core of ourself, that healing core of ourself, and we'll be radiating that out. And this is going to be happening we're just on a trajectory like this. This is just going to be clearing. The more work you can do in yourself with a focus on being a homeopathic remedy for the world itself, the better. The more work you can do and include the planet and everyone on it while you're doing your own individual work. So don't be overwhelmed thinking that you're doing this for everyone else. Think of this that you're doing this for yourself, and it will have an effect on everyone else. That's the Four of Wands. It has to do with Venus and love, and it really is love and light that heal. Okay. And then what's going to be the result of this work we're going to be doing over the next 9 weeks is basically the Ace of Cups. So cups are emotions, and the cup is what holds the emotions, and you can see the light coming in through the crown and just radiating out in all directions. This is what's happening right now, right this minute, right this very minute, this light's coming in. And if you've been doing the work, you're just like, oh, more stuff to just release and integrate, but it's releasing and integrating much faster, except for the session this morning I did with my client that went on for like 3 hours. It was big though. It was big, and I understand why it was. It's just so old, and it just needed to unravel slowly, and it did. So the Ace of Cups, this is what we're moving into. So all this work we're doing over the next 9 weeks, really letting go of this self-deprecating, this condemning, this seeing ourselves as the problem rather than the solution. And then going through this completion of all this work that we've done over lifetimes on this planet. With Lemuria and Atlantis, all these, so many things that have happened here. But the result for us, for everyone on the planet, is going to be an open, clear, trusting heart, spiritual heart. This is the initiation of this next cycle of 13,000 years. And it's being initiated by this open, clear, trusting, spiritual heart. This is the Holy Grail. This is the Holy Grail. This represents it, not that it is, but this card represents the Holy Grail sitting within the emotional nature, which is represented by the blue cup. It's the state of emotional integrity, which is represented by the double reflected rainbow, the capacity to express accurately feelings that are being experienced internally. Rainbow represents reflection of emotional feelings from such a base of integrity that there is no dichotomy between what's being experienced inside and what's being reflected outside. Emotional balance. The ability to nurture self, but to nurture, comfort, support, and heal oneself in equal proportion to what one gives out. This is love with wisdom. And love is represented by the cup, and wisdom by the blue grail. This is love that's constantly regenerating itself, symbolized by the handles of the cup on which are coiled, regenerated snakes. You know, no matter how these words, the words that I say, no matter how they affect you, I know as they're coming through me how they're affecting me. And I'm just guessing in a way that this is going to be the effect they have with you as well, just depending on how much energy you have to work with. But I needed this. I wrote a post this morning just about how difficult, especially the last 6 years have been, 6.5 years. It's just been so difficult on so many levels. I'm choosing to let this go. That's one of the things. Just let go. Like what we are moving towards, what we are in right now is a transformation of the planet. And it may appear ugly if you look at the videos on the side of your YouTube, whatever they're feeding you. But anyway, this is a tremendous change that's taking place. And part of the reason the change is taking place is us. You and me, we're making these changes, and it's all for the good. And I made that in 16 minutes, so I'm just going to stop here and say, be well, and what we're doing is affecting the world in a very positive way. And I actually look forward to seeing the world that we're living in come July 26th of the next year, the Mayan calendar. All right, be well.